Hey guys, welcome to another Reaper blog tutorial. Today we're looking at Byome from Unfiltered Audio, build your own multi-effect. Really awesome. Let's check it out. So I picked up this plugin from Plugin Alliance over the weekend. They had a special sale for newsletter subscribers. They sent out some codes to get any plugin for just $30 each. And so this was one of the ones that I picked up. Not disappointed at all. It's super awesome. I think the base price of $249 for this plugin is a lot to ask, but it is a very good plugin. So I would recommend wait for a sale. Get on their newsletter because they're always doing sales. So let's just quickly get into a demonstration of what this is. I've got a little loop here. I'll play you that. Just to give you a little taste of the kind of weird stuff you can do with this. So this is a build your own multi-effect. It comes with 40 effects built in, tons of presets, and from those effects that you can put in any order, you can then modulate using LFOs, random generators, sequencers, all sorts of things. Super awesome plugin. I have a lot of multi-effects plugins. Nothing really comes close to the modulation options. Even if you don't use the modulation options, the effects themselves are very good. They come from their other plugins. So there's their compressors, their distortions, their reverbs, delays, all those sorts of things in here. You can use kind of simplified versions of them. But where this really shines is when you put in some modulation effects, controlling things over time, controlling things by input level, controlling things with random generators. Let's go to another delay preset, Betamax delay. And let's go to one of the distortions. I'm just kind of going through at random, nervous breakdown. So that's a bit crusher effect. Let's go over to filters. The resonators are really cool in this. So right there, I was adjusting the macro controls. And so there's different knobs controlling multiple knobs. And if you want to do any automation with this plugin, you link them to modulation first, and then you have access them in Reaper's Reaper's effects parameter list, which is covered up by my camera right now. But I can show you here. FX parameters, Byome, and there. 8 macros that you can automate, plus all of the master section stuff right here. Let's go to one of the multi-effect presets. C minor 9 texture. And now I'm going to adjust the sample rate control in the master section. It kind of shifts everything down, makes it darker, more droney, more ominous. I actually love that effect. That's a really awesome effect. It's not even playing and it's still going. Really cool reverb built in here. Let's go to another one. I'm gonna solo the kick drum for this next one. I saw someone had preset doof maker. So this is just the kick soloed here. Great boomy sort of kick. And here it is by itself. A great effect. And there's also a macro control. Really cool stuff. So I've loaded up a default patch, and we're going to start messing around with this. The layout's pretty simple. We've got master section with input gain, sample rate, auto gain control, mix, and output gain. Auto gain control tries to keep the signal level pretty consistent between input and output. So let's just turn that up to about 75%, something like that. Sample rate's really interesting because it affects all of the tone of all the delays, makes them darker. It's not like a sort of a bit crushing effect, but kind of like degrades the quality of all the processors in kind of a different and interesting way. If there's like a reverb that's sort of like tonal, that will kind of pitch that down and be pretty interesting. The next section here is the display. We've got 3 different modes for the display. It's not too important, and you can actually turn that off in the settings. Next, we've got the effects row, and you can add in as many effects as you want, drag and drop to change the order. Very simple. This sandwich icon here brings up the menu for inserting the plugins or the effect modules, as well as management of presets for this effect. All of the modules can actually be collapsed, so you can double click where the name is to collapse it, which gives you a very simple layout, really compact, makes a more complex patch much more easy to manage. There's this button here that collapses everything in the row or expands them. Then in the modulation row, we've got a bypass button, a cable hide button, and we've got our macros. It's going to start off with 4 macros, and it will expand up to 8 macros. A macro can link to multiple parameters at the same time. You turn one, and both knobs will move at the same time, like this. So I can turn this down. Or you can have things go in opposite directions by just the outputs are automatically multiplied to give you more options, really. Then we've got all of our modulators, input followers, we've got XY pads, we've got ADSR, LFOs of 3 types, random sources, sequencers. Let's just do something simple with a filter. So I'm going to change the sine LFO to the step sequencer. And it may be a little hard to see because it's kind of black here. But this dot shows the progress through the steps. And when we link this to the cutoff knob and then put in some dots here, or some lines, we'll see that filter cutoff change. So I'll just kind of put this in at random, and I'll increase the speed to 1/8 note, and let's hear this. So yeah, very simple step sequencer. Let's also try this with the gate sequencer, which is just basically on-off messages. So I'll have it on kind of at random, something like that. And I'll link that to the filter cutoff. And I'll make this as a unipolar, which means it goes from the starting position and up. Or if I have this reversed, then it goes down. So it's changing on quarter notes, changing the filter cutoff on quarter notes, and it's basically the default position or where I left the knob, or 100% or based on the amp knob. I'm actually going to mute the drums. I don't think I want any drums. So we've got this. All right, let's change the saturation to a reverb. This deep reverb defaults to 90 seconds long and goes up to 360 seconds. That's kind of insane. So what if we did something like the input follower? So when the input is loud, this should turn down the mix on the reverb. Makes sense? So there's more reverb when the signal is quiet. That's pretty cool. Maybe more effective with a delay. Let's change this to instant delay. Let's mess around with that sample rate knob. So using this around 50% just kind of makes things a little more grainy, a little bit lo-fi. And then down at like 1%, it's very lo-fi. And of course, we can modulate this as well. So let's take the triangle LFO, which I think you go like this to get triangle, drag this to sample rate, and I'm going to set this to unipolar frequency of, let's do half. And so it's going to go. It's weird. It's super weird, but I am having fun, and I don't have any plugins that make it this fun or easy to do modulation effects. So that's where I'm going to wrap this one up. It's a fun plugin. It's an expensive plugin, but if you manage to catch it on sale, I think it's worth picking up because it is a lot of fun, and especially the modulation options are just fantastic. I am going to mention one other plugin that they offer, Triad from Unfiltered Audio. It's basically this plus multiband. So high, mid, and low band, but all of those effects, all of those modulation options as well. It costs about $40 more, but again, if you catch it on sale, it's probably not going to make a difference. I'll probably be down to like $30 or $99 or something like that. And this isn't sponsored or anything like that. I did spend my own money, and I'm saying don't buy it if it's not on sale. But yeah, that's where I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Support the Reaper blog through Patreon, and visit reaperblog.net for a lot more tutorials.